All right, I wanted to talk about versions again. I have to say, the Authorized King James Bible is the perfect Word of God in English. Um, there's New King Jameses, there's all kinds of different ones. They call them King James now. But the Authorized King James Version from 1611 is the only one is the perfect Word of God in English. Other languages have their own Bibles. You'd have to do research yourself to find if you have a different language as your first language you want to use, which one's the Word of God in that language. But it's most languages have the Bible, true Bible. Anyway, there's over 400 now versions of the Bible in English. So, and they all say different things. There's changes in them. So, and they contradict each other. So, King James has been proven over and over and over for 400 years. Nobody complained about it. And suddenly it's the best-selling book of all time. And there's a lot of profit to be made in rewriting the Bible. Also, it's not a good thing to do. All right, so quickly, Matthew 7, 13 and 14. So this is the King James Bible, Authorized King James. Enter ye in at the strait gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because strait is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. This is Jesus talking. Okay, so pay attention there. It says, wide is the gate, broad is the way, and narrow is the way. Straight is the gate, and narrow is the way that leadeth to life. So let's go. So a lot of other versions change things, and words mean things. So if you change the words, you change the meaning. So don't think for a second that new versions that make changes, they'll say they made a small change. It's not true. Even the New King James made major changes in it. And not just that, there were people like, well, it's easier to read. They took out the these and the thous and all that stuff. Well, those words mean things. When someone says thou in English, and we don't use it much anymore, but the British still do. Thou, and they don't use it as much as they used to. Thou is very specific, talking to one person. Thee is addressing a crowd. So if you change that word to you could mean one person or it could mean a crowd. So it's less specific, less exact of the English language. Okay, so English Standard Version of the same verse. Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction, and those who enter it by it are many. For the gate is narrow and the way is hard that leads to life, and those who find it are few. There's a big difference between saying the gate is wide and easy and the gate is straight. And the wide is the gate and broad is the way. So saying it's wide and broad is talking about the size of it. To say it's wide and easy, now you're talking about work. If something's easy, you're not talking about the size of a gate, or a way, like a path or a gate. You're talking about something being hard or easy to do. So it's talking about hard and easy. So that's talking about works, and that's a works gospel, and that is not the gospel. You cannot get to heaven by doing works. You can't be good enough. Nobody that's a real Christian that believes in Jesus and what he's done for us and trusts him, nobody is getting to heaven by works. It's only by believing what Jesus has done for us. So don't be fooled by these new versions. Get yourself an Authorized King James Version and find the truth. It's not hard to read. If you read it a bunch of times, just keep reading it. Things will become easier to you. I personally like to watch a lot of old British shows and listen to old British books, the way they're written from 100 years ago or so. And it's really interesting the way they write. And you can find a lot of books written in the old English style of talking, and it makes a lot of sense. It's very specific writing. There's a lot of these and thous, and the words are very specific when someone's talking. It's very descriptive, and it's exact in its description of things. These new ones just throw around words and change words, and when you change words, you change the meaning. So don't be fooled. Get a King James Version. This is just one example. There's many more.